Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous stories ever told, a tale of love, rivalry, and heartbreak that has captivated audiences for over 400 years. That's right, we're talking about William Shakespeare's masterpiece, Romeo and Juliet. So, picture this, the city of Verona, Italy. It's beautiful, it's bustling, but there's a huge problem. Two of the most powerful families, the Montagues and the Capulets, absolutely despise each other. Their feud is so old, nobody even remembers how it started, but it's so intense that street brawls are a regular occurrence. The Prince of Verona is fed up and declares that anyone caught fighting again will be executed. Now, let's meet our hero, Romeo. He's a Montague, and when we first see him, he's moping around, completely heartbroken over a girl named Rosalind who doesn't love him back. He's the classic dramatic teenager, sighing and writing poetry. His friends, Benvolio and the witty, cynical Mercutio, try to cheer him up. They say, "Come on, Romeo, there are plenty of other fish in the sea. Let's crash a party tonight." And where is this party? You guessed it, at the Capulet's house. Lord Capulet is throwing a huge feast. His main goal is to introduce his daughter, Juliet, to a respectable bachelor named Paris. Paris is a kinsman to the prince, and he's eager to marry Juliet. At this point, Juliet is just 13, almost 14, and she hasn't really thought about marriage. She's obedient to her parents, but also has a mind of her own. So, Romeo, Mercutio, and Benvolio put on masks and sneak into the Capulet party. Romeo is still feeling down, but then, across the crowded room, he sees her. He sees Juliet. It's like a lightning bolt strikes. He's completely mesmerized and instantly forgets all about Rosalind. He finds a moment to speak with Juliet, and the chemistry is electric. They share a first kiss, not even knowing each other's names. But then, the bomb drops. Romeo finds out she's a Capulet, the daughter of his family's greatest enemy. And Juliet learns from her nurse that the boy she just kissed is Romeo, a Montague. Their worlds are turned upside down. As Romeo puts it, "My only love sprung from my only hate." But is a little thing like a massive, life-threatening family feud going to stop them? Of course not. This is teenage love we're talking about. Later that night, Romeo can't stay away. He climbs the wall into the Capulet orchard and sees Juliet on her balcony. This leads to the legendary balcony scene. Juliet, thinking she's alone, pours her heart out, asking, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" She's not asking where he is, but why he has to be a Montague. She says a name is just a label, and she would love him no matter what he was called. Romeo reveals himself, and they declare their passionate love for each other. It's all very whirlwind and intense. They decide they can't live apart and make a radical plan. They're going to get married in secret. The very next day, they turn to a trusted figure, Friar Lawrence. The friar is a kind man who is also an expert in herbs and potions. He's shocked by how quickly Romeo has moved on from Rosalind, but he sees a glimmer of hope. He thinks that maybe, just maybe, a marriage between a Montague and a Capulet could finally end the bitter feud between their families. So, against his better judgment, he agrees to marry them. The secret wedding happens. For a few blissful hours, Romeo and Juliet are husband and wife. But this is a tragedy, and things are about to go horribly wrong. Remember that warning from the prince about no more fighting. Well, Juliet's hot-headed cousin, Tybalt, saw Romeo at the Capulet party and is furious. He feels his family has been dishonored. He finds Romeo in the street and challenges him to a duel. Romeo, who is now technically related to Tybalt through marriage, refuses to fight. He tries to be the peacemaker. But Mercutio, Romeo's best friend, doesn't understand this sudden change of heart. He thinks Romeo is being a coward. So, Mercutio steps in to fight Tybalt himself. The duel is fierce, and in the chaos, Tybalt fatally wounds Mercutio. As he dies, Mercutio curses both families, crying out, "A plague go both your houses." Seeing his best friend killed sends Romeo into a blind rage. All thoughts of peace vanish. He challenges Tybalt, and in the ensuing fight, Romeo kills him. The reality of what he's done hits him immediately. He has just killed his wife's cousin. The news spreads like wildfire. Lady Capulet is demanding Romeo's life, but because Tybalt killed Mercutio first, the prince shows a little mercy. Instead of execution, Romeo is banished from Verona. If he's ever found in the city again, he will be killed. The news is devastating for Juliet. She is utterly distraught. Romeo and Juliet manage to spend one secret wedding night together before he has to flee to the nearby city of Mantua. It's a tearful, heartbreaking farewell at dawn. Now, Juliet's parents, thinking her tears are for her cousin Tybalt, decide they know just the thing to cheer her up: a wedding. They announce that she will marry Paris in just a few days. They're trying to be helpful, but they have no idea what's really going on. When Juliet refuses, her father becomes enraged. Her nurse, who was her confidant, even advises her to forget Romeo and marry Paris. Feeling betrayed by everyone, Juliet runs to the only person she can trust, Friar Lawrence. Desperate, she tells the friar she'd rather die than marry Paris. This gives the friar a risky, complicated idea. He gives Juliet a special potion. He explains that it will make her appear dead for 42 hours. She stop breathing, have no pulse, and grow cold. Her family will find her, think she's dead, and place her in the family tomb. Meanwhile, the friar will send a letter to Romeo in Mantua, explaining the whole plan. Romeo will then sneak back to Verona, be there when Juliet wakes up in the tomb, and they can run away together to Mantua and live happily ever after. What could possibly go wrong? Juliet goes home, pretends to agree to the marriage, and that night, she drinks the potion. The next morning, her nurse finds her dead in her bed. The Capulet household, which was preparing for a wedding, is now plunged into grief. They lay Juliet in the family crypt, just as the friar predicted. But the crucial letter from Friar Lawrence to Romeo never arrives. The messenger was delayed due to a quarantine. Instead, Romeo's servant, who saw Juliet's funeral, rushes to Mantua with the terrible news: Juliet is dead. Romeo is completely shattered. In his grief and despair, he buys a fast-acting poison from an apothecary and rides back to Verona, determined to die by Juliet's side in the tomb. When Romeo arrives at the Capulet crypt, he finds someone already there, the grieving Paris, who has come to lay flowers on his would-be bride's tomb. Paris recognizes Romeo as the man who killed Tybalt and thinks he's there to desecrate the tomb. They fight, and Romeo, in his anguish, kills Paris. Romeo enters the tomb and sees Juliet, looking as beautiful as ever. He doesn't realize she's just asleep. He gives a final, heartbreaking speech, kisses her one last time, and drinks the poison, dying right next to her. Just moments later, Friar Lawrence arrives, too late. And at that exact moment, Juliet begins to wake up. She sees the friar and asks for Romeo, but then she sees him, lying lifeless beside her. And she sees the empty cup of poison. The friar, hearing the city watch approaching, begs Juliet to leave with him, but she refuses. She won't leave Romeo. She tries to kiss his lips, hoping there's still some poison left for her. When that fails, she sees Romeo's dagger, takes it, and ends her own life, falling upon her husband's body. The watch arrives to find a scene of unbelievable horror: Romeo, Juliet, and Paris all dead. They bring in the friar, Lord Capulet, and Lord Montague. Lord Montague reveals that his wife has also died that night from grief over Romeo's exile. The friar confesses everything, explaining the secret marriage and the tragic chain of events. The prince, looking at the bodies of their children, scolds the two families. "See what a scourge is laid upon your hate," he says. "That heaven finds means to kill your joys with love." Finally, faced with the devastating consequences of their feud, Lord Capulet and Lord Montague realize their foolishness. They agree to end their rivalry and shake hands. They promise to build golden statues of the children to honor their memory. But it's a hollow piece, but at an unbearable price. And so the story ends, with the prince's final words, "For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo." It's a powerful reminder of how love can be both beautiful and destructive, and how hate and division can lead to nothing but tragedy. Thank you so much for watching.